dealing today is called subject-verb agreement. This topic forms the basis of your entire grammar. Be it a banking exam, MBA entrance, or any entrance that you're writing, ensure this topic is very well understood and practiced. The flow of the presentation and the lecture will have all the basic concepts, right from basic to intermediate and to advanced level. I request all to ensure that you go through each of these concepts not just once but maybe twice or thrice before you attempt the practice questions. Let's move ahead. This is a bit about me. Let's go ahead. Now, if you look here, sentence comprises of three things: subject, verb, and object. And this is primarily what we are concerned with. So, subject is nothing but the main point of a sentence. Once you've identified the main point, subject is that same main point. Now, it could be a person, it could be a place, it could be a thing, it could be an idea, it could be anything. So to ensure that we always get the right subject, we will follow an algorithm in which we will ask the main verb one of these two questions, either who or what. Let's see if we can apply this logic. If you look at the first example, it says he goes to the market daily. Now, which is your first main verb? Goes. So you obviously can't ask what goes to the market. So you will ask who goes to the market, and you get the answer as he. Therefore, your subject in this case is he. Similarly, this example, they want to win the football match. Again, who wants to win the football match? Here you'll have to focus. And therefore, again, you'll ask the same question. And the subject you get is they. Let's move to a more trickier sentence. Now it says the number of smartphone users in India is increasing rapidly. Now, what is increasing rapidly is the first question in your mind. Obviously, you can't say who is increasing. So in this case, we'll have to ask what is increasing. And we get the answer as the number is increasing. So the subject in this case is number, unlike somebody who would have thought smartphone users. Let's move on to the next sentence. It says the percentage of people using smartphones has increased. Again, I'll focus on my verb. What has increased? And I know that the percentage has increased. Therefore, the subject in this case is percentage. I hope this logic is clear. Let's move on to the next topic. Now that we have understood how a subject is identified, let's understand and deep dive into what is this agreement that we are referring to. So this agreement is now the point of our focus to understand how this agreement actually works. So if you look at subject-verb agreement, it is nothing but agreeing the verb with your subject. In other words, this becomes absolutely important. Your singular subject should take a singular verb and a plural subject must take a plural verb. Let's look at an example. If I say Ram walks fast. Now, if I say Ram walks fast, I'll use the same logic. I'll ask my verb who walks fast. I get the answer as Ram. So Ram is my singular subject. Walks is my singular verb. Similarly, another example can be they sing well. Again, who sings well? They. So they is a plural subject and sing is a plural verb. So this explains how subject-verb agreement takes place. Let's look at few more examples. Now if you come here, it says playing with kids is good fun. Now can you tell me why is it is? Because our subject is playing. So this is a singular subject and is a singular verb. Similarly, he has lost his notebook. Who has lost? The answer is he. Therefore, you need a singular verb, has. Similarly, in the third question, the number of members who contributed to the fund is negligible. Ask, what is negligible? You will realize that the number is negligible. Therefore, number is a singular subject which will take a singular verb is. I hope this concept is clear. Let's move on to the next point. In our language, especially for subject-verb agreement, we will come across a lot of structures Therefore, understanding how to apply these logic to separate structures is absolutely important. Let's look at the structure number 1. Sentence is starting from neither nor, either or plain or. Now, thing to understand is when you say neither dash nor dash, you'll be talking about two nouns, one in this position and the other in this position. The logic is absolutely simple. Always consider the second noun as the subject. Based on this subject, you will correspondingly put a verb. So let's look at this logic in the first example. Neither the king, so this is my first noun, nor the ministers, this is the verb, going to the party. Now, as per this logic, the second noun is the ministers. Ministers is nothing but plural, and therefore you have a plural verb here, were. Therefore, this sentence is right. Second one, let's look at the second one. Either the wind, which is my first noun, or the waves make or makes that sound. Now, if you look at this second one, it is again plural. So this will need a plural verb, make. Remember, plural verb is verb without an S. If you add S, it turns into singular. So makes would have been singular in this case. Let's look here. Either of these shirts is good enough for me. Now, pay attention. It is not either or, it is just either. Remember, when it is just either, it acts as singular. Similarly, if it is just neither, it also acts as singular without an or nor. So either, irrespective of the noun which is plural, the subject shifts to either. So either is singular, would need a singular verb is. Similarly, the last part of the sentence also has a similar logic. If you look here, neither of the sisters is traveling. Who is traveling? Sisters. Although it's plural, but the subject shifts from sisters to neither. Therefore, you need a singular verb is. I hope this is clear. Let's move on to the next topic. Now, let's look at the second structure. Second structure basically has sentences which start with one of these types. Like look at the first one, each. When you have a sentence starting with each, it always acts as singular. So, when you say each of the girls sings well. Now, you might be thinking, who are singing? Girls. Now, girls is plural. So, ideally it should have been sing. But it is not just girls, it is each of the girls. And I just told you that each is singular. So, this will become sings. Therefore, correct. Same logic applies for every. Every also is singular. We'll take a singular verb. So, if you have every boy, add his, which is singular. Everyone, everybody also acts as singular. So, everybody in the class is missing. Similarly, everyone has to contribute. The next word that we will focus here is some. Some is plural. So, some of the boats are missing. Why? Because you're referring to some. But something like a someone is singular. So, someone has singular is correct. Remember, whenever you are facing questions where the sentence starts with none, remember none can be used as both singular and plural depending on the context. Now, let's look at the explanation here. None of the prisoners, what are we referring to? Prisoners. Prisoners is plural. So, you need a plural verb here. Similarly, none of the information. Information is singular and therefore you need a singular verb here. I hope this is clear. Let's move on to the next structure. Now, next structure has sentences with conjunctions. So, whenever you are dealing with conjunctions, you should understand that conjunctions are nothing but words which join. So, these are basically joining words. Now, how do we apply subject-verb agreement when we have conjunctions? So, there's some logic around it. Now, whenever you have and as a conjunction, you will have to take it as plural. So, if you see in this question, Anil and his parents. So, conjunction and the verb is are. Why? Because we have taken it as plural. Second one is whenever you have conjunction like along with. So, the logic is written here and this is an important takeaway for this thing. Conjunctions starting with, along with, together with, as well as, in addition to, moreover, will always refer to the first noun, which means in all these three questions, along with, together with, as well as, I am dealing with the first noun, and therefore the verb will correspond to the first noun. Now, in this case, his parents is plural, therefore you have are. That makes it correct. Here it is minister, which is singular, and therefore it is was, which is also singular. Here it is boys. Boys is plural, therefore it is are, which is also plural verb. I hope this understanding is clear. Yeah, let's move on to the next structure. Now, what happens when you have subjects with collective nouns? Now, collective nouns are nothing but nouns which indicate collection, right? Now, for example, if I say army is attacking. Who is attacking? Army. So this is singular subject, which will take a singular verb. So the logic that we want to focus is a collective noun always takes a singular verb. Always just remember that anything which is plural is not a collective noun. Collective noun essentially refers to collections. Example being words like crowd, team, class, army, committee, audience, so on and so forth. Let's look at a few examples to validate our understanding. Now, if we say the army is ready to attack the enemy, now what is the first thing we need to ask is who is ready? What is the answer that we are getting? The army. Army is a collective noun. Therefore, you will apply is, which is a singular verb. Similarly, when you say the Indian cricket team has just arrived at the airport, we ask who has just arrived, and we get the answer as Indian cricket team. Indian cricket team is also a collective noun. Therefore, we'll take a singular verb has. I hope this is clear. Let's move on to the next one. Last structure talks about nouns that look plural but are in reality singular. Let's look at few examples. Now, a word like news. So news, although has an S to it, is actually a singular subject. So in this case, news is an important medium of communication. Why? Because singular subject takes a singular verb. Similarly, mathematics, measles, rupees, although have S at the end of the word, but all act as singular. Therefore, if you see here, mathematics is my favorite subject, measles is a bad disease, and 5,000 rupees is all I have. So please be careful when you're dealing with subjects that look plural. Not everything is plural. Sometimes they can be singular as well. So this brings us to the end of all the concepts. In the next section, we will try and solve few practice questions starting from basic to the most advanced level.